Welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a Kaleidoscope app, and we're going to wrap it up today. We've got some ideas to improve the way we select the image and a couple other minor wrap-up things, but I think that'll do it for now. We talked yesterday. I probably should go ahead and put this on the App Store and go ahead moving forward with it. It's far enough along for now, and we'll see if that happens. All right. Okay, so what we want to do today, the big one is the way we do the picture. Let's see, go back to this photo. So we have, well, here's an image we've selected, okay, and we put this piece of pie, and basically as we move it around through there, we get the source material for our kaleidoscope image. The way we're doing it now, on the x-axis, we go from 0 to halfway across the screen. Okay, so that way, because the pie, if it were a full circle, it would touch the edge of the screen, but we know it's only part of a circle, like this one, maybe 60 degrees or something. And so we know that if we stop at halfway, we know no circle can be bigger than the radius of the width of the screen. So we don't have to worry about not going off the boundaries. At some point in our process, we were going off the boundaries, and then we get all kinds of weird white space in. But we made sure to do that. But the way we are now, we only go halfway across, and that's sort of missing an opportunity because anything over here is not going to be shown no matter what. Okay, so the idea we have is Munchshark 666 found, we can get the bounds for the pie piece and therefore get its width. And so we could take the width away from the image. And if we did the x-axis so that it moved if we shrink the image by that width, then we can move the x-axis can be from 0 to 100% of that reduced image size, and it'll just barely touch the edge out here. So we're okay in that sense. So we'd like to do that, and it won't give you every bit of this. You can't get access to everything like this, but it gives us, a noticeable chunk more. All right. And we're doing that, I think. Well, part of it's going to be the angle XY. Okay, so now we're going to leave the Y alone, but the X, we restrict it to half the width. Okay, and in the end, we're going to, we'll just use the whole width. All right. Okay, so I don't know, the easy way on this, well, let me take the half off and let's just see the effect. Okay. So now we're moving it all the way across, and we're going to get white space. Oh, well, okay. We won't. We'll let this thing build there, but we're going to run it on the iPad. The simulator doesn't have the hardware to do the rotation and stuff like that, so we can't really see the effect very well. Okay. Well, I've rebooted Xcode in the simulator, but I'm not seeing it really paying a slow startup cost there. Okay. All right. So here, this photo, we can't really see the effect of that. So let's go over and run it on the iPad, and we'll stop. Oh, well, I just stopped everything. Okay. Let's run it on the iPad. Excuse me. So what I'm expecting is as I rotate, I'm going to see some places that are substantially into the white space, and so have a white background. All right, here's photos. Okay. Yeah, so this is our picture of corn and tomatoes and stuff. And as I rotate here, it's white. I think maybe a third of the way around, halfway around. Yeah, so pretty much halfway around, and then we're back in to the thing there. All right, which is okay. I mean, we're working our way through it. All right, so in this case, well, okay, what I want to do, I want to see what they're passing in. All right, I'll put this back for the moment. And I'm pretty sure that's photo Kaleidoscope. Okay, so the source image, well, we don't know the piece of pie here. That's the problem. Let me move this one away. So the pie. Okay, so here's photo Kaleidoscope. Well, I don't know why that's. Oh, I bumped something. Okay, let's close this. There we go. Okay, here's photo Kaleidoscope, but Collide View. Okay. Collide View. No. He knows the count. His number of mirrors. He knows the pie. Yeah, this is. It's really kind of tricky. Clip shape is the pie. Let's go in there. Yeah, I guess the problem is this CG Rect. All right, so the pie doesn't really know the size that it's working from. So, yeah, pi returns pi is a shape. To make a shape, you have to return a path. So, that's kind of a built-in. It's if you want to make this a subclass of shape, you have to override this to get the thing. But it works from the CG rect that it's given when you say draw this pie, it's you're drawing it in the context of some shape or some boundary, I should say. That's okay. I mean this height and width. I'm not. Let's count. Oh, wait a minute. Where's count being used? Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, it's kind of a funny formula from here. So, I mean, what we want is we'd like to anticipate the size of the pie and and build this to a smaller size. But when we draw it, we want to actually draw on the real image. Now we know I'm not sure. The reader, the geometry here is going to capture this whole view with all the reflections. So if you have 10 mirrors, well, if you take a 60-degree angle and you reflect it, it's a 120, and three of those fit around one cycle, right? So, huh. Well, the offset doesn't know the count. Only the collide view knows that, and then that passes it down to pi. If you had, let me change this to 3. Call pi with geometry size directly. Well, okay, yeah. So if we took the geometry size, the problem is it interacts, right? So the size the size of the kaleidoscope view is going to be the size of the whole circle after we've done it. Okay, I'm gonna make this 3, and let's explore a little. So with 3, we'll be able to see distinct pieces of whatever we're working with. I'm hoping that'll inspire me enough to understand what's going on. Um, I mean, 3 mirrors should be 60 degrees reflected, and then that repeated. Okay, so all right, yeah, you can tell there are 3 main pieces here, and you can see the reflection like in the top third. Um, let's see if I can get to something we can talk about. Okay, yeah, the bunch of tomatoes. Basically, there's a reflecting line halfway vertically, and the tomatoes are there. Now the width of this, ugh, I think that's still doing that. Yeah. Okay, the width of it is, I mean, it's to about where my finger is. No, it's, whoops, that's the repeat. Yeah, I guess right there where it, um, down there, that's the line of the 60 degrees here. We're not losing a lot, even with 60, and because 60's right. Keep tapping it, right on that edge. Okay, so 60 doesn't lose much, but if you had 10 mirrors, then you've got 36 degrees. It's much smaller. I'm not sure where that leaves things. Oh, well, there. Oops. Oh, that one had a really good view. There was that triangle in the middle. Okay. So kind of halfway through that, but the triangle sort of shows you where the line is, I guess. You know. Well, now let's go the other way. Let's do 36. I can do the math. Yeah. Okay, so 36, it's going to be much smaller pieces. It's dividing the circle into 10 degrees, but then it's reflected, so it's really 20, or it's really 5 degrees. Okay, so I don't know how many spikes I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's interesting. Probably more of the peaks, like the triangle here and here. I don't see 36 of anything though. Oh, maybe so now. All right, yeah, that's getting there. I don't think it's teaching me anything. Well, I guess what it teaches me is the width of the part being used is only, this little kind of between there and there, this little tiny bit. And so we're only going, 3/4 of the way across the screen. All right. So that's, yeah. So there's some, I don't know. Gosh. Okay. Whatever I said that makes balloons appear, I just said it. What I see is, even with 36, I don't get the sense that I'm not seeing anything interesting. They're all there. I mean, it's annoying slightly that in an intellectual sense, it's annoying that the whole piece is not subject to display. But on the other hand, the images are still interesting and everything. You wouldn't necessarily notice. So I don't know what that tells me. Well, the problem is I want to get to this stuff inside the bottom level, and I can't directly. I mean, I can intellectually because I know, given the number of mirrors, I can work out the number of angles or the angle size, right? So if I take twice the number of mirrors, 360 divided by that tells me how many I have, how many degrees each one takes, I should say. So 3 takes 60 degrees, and so on. And then knowing that, I mean, given the angle, we can certainly compute how wide that piece will be relative to the whole circle. And I think that's just going to be either sine or cosine. If I remember my, my pictures, take your unit circle and take a piece off this. You got the radius. I think sine is where where it hits on the x-axis, if I'm remembering that right. And as you work your way up to 90 degrees, it gets closer and closer to 0. So maybe it's the cosine. I can't remember. But there's certainly a relationship, and it's certainly one I could work out if either through mathematics or diligent searching. So, I mean, we could, given the number of mirrors, we can say what's the width relative to the whole, what percentage. But on the other hand, I don't think the look is bad. And given that, I'm not so worried. I think this selection thing is much more annoying, put it that way. So capturing view, does not know the number of mirrors. And that probably, oh, he does not know the size. Yeah, because he's outside the geometry reader. So I'm switching problems. let's be honest here. Okay, I think mathematically there's an answer to this. I think the problem is part of the way I've shaped the code makes it hard to get to that information at the right level, and I kind of don't want to tear it all apart at this point to fix that. But I don't know. It could. Yeah, maybe it could. I mean, can we say the width of the pie based on the number of mirrors? That seems plausible. All right. I'm going to defer it. Okay. Because this taking a picture thing is so annoying. Okay. What happens is if you tap anywhere on the white space, let's run the local one again. We can definitely see this problem on the local one. Did I not say run? Okay. Yeah. It should be possible to calculate using the unit circle. Absolutely. I mean, if we know the width of the image, we could subtract it from that. I mean, it's doable. All right. So what I want is if you tap on the circle, the image takes a photo and saves it off on the library. That works. The problem is if I tap in here, it also works. And if I tap in here, it works. And even, no, that one doesn't. Okay. I only want it to work when it's in the range of this. All right. So I think I don't mind that if it were to calculate given the bounds where it should do it, I'd be fine. The problem is, at least from a starting point, it doesn't know the bounds because capturing view is outside the reader, and so it's not told the boundaries. I don't think there's a problem putting it inside the reader. Okay. In principle, I don't think there's a problem here. We could now pass the geometry into the capturing view and the number of mirrors. Does it matter number of mirrors? No, just the geometry. The width of the resulting image is what counts for capturing. Okay. And let's open camera view too. Okay, well, we don't have geometry there, but we could. Okay. Right. So if we knew geometry, okay, so if I get geometry dot size, I don't know what a CG size has. Dot width and height. Okay, so if I knew the size, I can, what can I do? Yeah, version 2 can do that. Right, okay, so knowing the size, let's give that to capturing view. size of CG size and view builder content. And so collide view is going to be inside geometry as well. Sorry, photo. Oh, camera, wherever it got to. Camera kaleidoscope. Geometry reader, geometry in. Okay. Right. So that should capture what I think Collide View is getting this much space. You know, it's getting quite a bit. And nobody's using it, but that should be okay. Oh, interesting. He gets it here. Okay, maybe I've just wasted my time. Let's take this back out. Well, I think we can revert. Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is capturing view somewhere. He has a tap, right? Untap gesture. Okay. So we can restrict it. You can add clip shape of a circle on the button. That's a good question. I released a new blog article today, xp123.com, but we're here to look for on-tap gestures Swift UI. Not coordinate space. I don't think that's going to do it. No, I mean we can certainly detect it. Well, okay, content. I think our content, right, is the kaleidoscope view. And it's this stuff. Well, okay, so I don't know if this will, what that will do. I don't know how it decides how big that circle is or where it is or any of that stuff. Well, that looks the same. That's the same. That's the same. Okay. So I think what happens, I don't think we have the, I think the view ends up being a bunch of space and then we're drawing the circle within that view, but the circle is never there. Oh, content shape. Okay. I don't know how it will know where to put that, but that's what we're trying to experiment with. Okay, that's still good. Oh, well. I like, oh, it's close. I mean, it's just outside it. Yeah. But here. I'd call that pretty good. Okay, good catch. Nice. All right. So at least our shape, it's drawing whatever, but we've restricted the shape to the circle, and the tap only seems to apply to the circle. All right, let me run that on the iPad just to make sure no differences there, because we've run into weird stuff before. But I certainly would accept that. I mean, a little bit of border, it's okay. I guess I always forget to hit go. We'll go to photo view. All right, so that one saves outside, corners. But if I get real close, still in the white, just barely. I mean, I'm looking at my finger from just above, and I can tell I'm not touching. Well, I don't think I'm touching. I don't know if an eraser would work. Oh, somewhere I had a pen that had a little rubbery tip that would work. It's very close, but out here I get nothing. Here I get nothing. Just on it, I'm okay. Just on it. Just on it. In the middle, but out here nothing. Okay. I'm happy. That's great. Okay. So yes, that's what we've done. Good. Okay. Put captured images on their own album. Yeah, I think this one's good. I don't know. I have my choice between settings and that. Settings would be the well, I suppose the photo we mentioned, putting the photo into a separate album in the photo library, and we mentioned the number of pieces, the number of mirrors, and we also looked at we have that sine wave that's going up and down 3 times. I don't know if that one needs to be a controlled thing. It seems not as critical. But the two do. So putting them in their own albums take more into account. Yeah, and then I guess just a setting for, I don't know, I shouldn't call it number of mirrors because it's not really. It's really the, let's say, number of segments. I don't know. I got to find the right word to make what you're doing make sense to somebody. But I mean, we still only have, in effect, 2 mirrors. Well, yeah, I mean, we take a slice and we reflect it and then we repeat it. And the number of repeats is sort of the interesting thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is how this one reads. And where's that? This is photo. So yeah, that's what I call number of mirrors. Repeats is not bad. Okay. Yeah, let's tackle this own album thing. Oh gosh. In capturing view, we're calling this. All right, which this is basically the core thing. Now, it had options, so let's see if any of those are helpful for us. Image, target, and context info. Notice asynchronously to save photos album. Save video at path to saved photos album. Right to save. Well, I'm not seeing anything there that tells me what album it's going to. Save video. Image. Writes to the camera roll album, which has its sense. Okay. I think anything from 3 up makes some level of sense. Let's switch gears and do an experiment there. We did 30. Let's do 100. So, I mean, it's a sliver at 100. I don't know what we'll get. A completion target? Okay. Oh, I thought completion target was the method we were calling, but okay. Well, here's camera view. Oh no, it's got to be photo collider. Okay. Yeah, it's a very, I mean, almost looks like a braided rug because it's so many. Each one of these is a little tiny, teeny slice of the whole thing. I guess there's the tomatoes. But yeah, it really does look like the braided rug my grandparents had when I was a kid, actually. So they're legit. I mean, I don't know, 1,000 is probably kind of ridiculous, but we'll try it. Not to be stopped by that. Okay, so let's see, completion target. No, I think completion target is telling us who do we call this on. It's saying camera roll album. It's the in our code. It was where self. Yeah, we're calling it with self wherever it got to here because this is the object that has the done writing photo method. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is much at 1,000. Okay, it's really bands, and it's I don't know if it's visible how much it's how slow it is because we got just so many things. But I mean, 103 to 100 is probably a reasonable enough range. Can't let it stop us. All right. Put that back. I mean, 10's interesting enough. All right. So this maybe is just not the thing to do arbitrary albums. I mean, it's writing to camera roll, which I think is, I guess I'm always a little confused, but I think camera roll is every shot you take, and then you can organize them into folders. But we saw some of that while we were looking around for other things. We saw examples of writing to particular photo albums. It looked like a little more painful approach. So I resist anything like that. Let's see, Swift UI, write to specific photo album. Okay, that we looked at this example. Yeah, that doesn't really help. I mean, I don't know what the context does. I maybe shouldn't dismiss that quite so quickly. Context info. Oh, past the completion selector. Okay, no, that won't help us. When used with an image controller, you call this with this. All right. Photo gallery. Well, that's not going to do it. Well, that's not really the right. Have to create the album first and use photo library and asset collection. Yeah, it seems like a hassle. I think that's what we ran across yesterday or 2 days ago, but yeah, this isn't quite. It's pulling stuff out of these album. Well, I don't know. Whoops. Video. Photo library. Okay. Yeah, it's like every time you get close to shipping, it's like, oh, it's not worth it for version 1. It's a lot of stuff that was critical a month ago is no longer critical. Okay. What do we get? Authorization. We get the shared object. Yeah, this is probably. I don't see the word album. Oh, here we go. Well, yeah, this is the sort of thing I was imagining would be needed. I mean, it's not impossible, but okay. So create a creation request. See if the collection exists. Just tell it you want to change that. Add the asset. I don't see where the which asset is being added from image. Okay. So where's creation request get used? Oh, okay. Yeah, it just feels a little elaborate. Okay. Let's. Okay, we'll add a breadcrumb for ourselves. CPH photo library. Or is this photo kit? PH photo library. Okay. All right. Move that below what we're going to do. Oh, here's another one. Shut off camera when entering background. So what, let's see, make sure I'm back to normal. Repeats 10. Let's run that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. All this stuff, it really does get better over time. If you just want to throw it in the camera roll, one line call does the job. That's nice. But, it's like I don't know. The version one, they supply something and it's pretty painful. All right. So we're back to 10. But what I notice is if I go to this view where I'm not, I'm showing all my apps, that thing's still running in the background. Okay. And even if I go to a different app, what did I have open there? Okay, I go to Safari. That camera's still active. Now, that one, it would be nice if were not the case. Um, is that, well, maybe not. All right, let's get back. Oh, okay, I think I'll have to take that back. Oh, that's not camera. Okay, there's my floor. There's my cabinet. I guess I should show it to you, not to me. All right, let's see if we can tell if this thing's blanking out. Well, he's still live here, but if I put somebody else in front and go again, yeah, he does not appear to be live at this point. Oops, sorry. The little preview in the corner, bottom right corner, is not changing at all. So I think the camera is deactivated or at least disconnected there. And go back to live, and it kind of takes a pause, and then it's back going again. So I think this appears to be done. To be done automatically. Because it seemed when it. Yeah, I have seen that scene phase stuff. I'm pretty sure I saw his version, but see scene phase hacking with Swift. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think this is the one I was looking at. So, environment scene phase knows what scene you're in or what phase you're in. And then down here, active is when you're in the foreground, background is when you aren't visible, and inactive is when you're visible but not interactive. I don't really use that multitasking mode very much, but you can shut it off for that, I guess. I, again, I kind of tend to put it off. All right. Settings for number of segments. I don't know. That's an easy one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the yeah, it's a good explanation anyway. I love his stuff. It's so great. Anyway, let's create a settings tab. That's almost so easy to do at this point. And also, I don't think we need to keep the experiment tab anymore. We don't have any active experiments. And as we get closer to trying something we can ship, I don't think we'll need it anymore. So this is settings view. And I don't think we need anything for that. Oops. Except we need a tag. And we don't have one. All right. Let's do it piecemeal. Okay, so I'm going to get a settings tab and yeah, let's make it more like the others. Settings view, and we'll make a top level folder. Put it down here and add a class. And it's a view. All right, if we get a preview for free. Well, free with a long delay. Yeah. Right, and there's a little slidery icon we can use. I don't know what they call it. Settings, nope. Filter. Slider.horizontal.3, right? That'd be fine. Wow, so slow. Oh, I guess I was looking at this and you weren't. let me bring it over here. Okay, so slider.horizontal.3 at least shows 3 sliders, even if we only have one. Okay. Settings view. Why is... I What's the delay here? Failed to build. Okay. That seems okay. Well, hopefully while that's thinking, I can, let's see. So we, you can start over. Ugh. Okay. Let's just run. And we should just get a new tab on the bottom with not much going on inside it. Okay, settings just says hello settings. All right. Wow. Okay. All right, so number of segments. All right, let's just take out the experiment view first. Experiment view tag. We don't need this anymore. And we don't need experiment view. All right, that tab's gone, just settings. Okay, so the settings, well, we have this number of repeats, and it's here, and it's also, I believe, on the camera kaleidoscope. Right. So we'd like them to be the same thing, and we'd like them to be owned higher up, basically. So let's start. Let's put a value out there and pass it along down. Okay, so I think content view is the thing that owns both these, so we'll give it the state. Now angle. Oh no, we got the rotated view around the whole thing. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the state, well, we want private var repeats. And I think we'll start with 3 is a reasonable number. Okay. Now, nobody's using it yet, but we'd like to pass it in. So let's pass it to the camera. Well, let's do this one first. Repeats is repeats. And this one needs to have the thing in there. Well, I guess he's just reading it, right? So he's not going to do anything with it. We'll start it at 10. Well, I guess it won't really show up exactly. All right, so we should see photo with 10-ish repeats. That looks about right. Looks like it has been. Okay. And we'll pass it to the camera view. It's interesting because it's a let constant there. We don't really need we don't need a binding to it per se because we're just passing a constant to a struct, I think. Okay, let's rename this. Okay, and then I'm going to move it up. An int, okay. And then settings, though, settings does need a binding because settings is going to change it. All right, so, well, we got the camera view, and again, it looks 10 repeats, looks about right. Okay. Okay, so we kind of caught ourselves up. Define repeats in content view, make camera and photo view share it. Okay, good. All right, and now settings view, it wants the binding. var repeats of an int. Constant there. And then settings needs repeats of repeats. Okay, so we'll pass that value down. That should be fine. No one's doing anything with it. And then settings view, oops. We want to give it a slider. Well, value in label, that sounds good. The value is, binding is repeats. I don't think I need the $sign there. The label is repeats. Is that enough? Okay, no. Yeah, I do need the binding. Oh, I'm changing it, yeah. Generic parameter label could not be. Well, that was nothing goes to label, so let's just put a closure in here. And then I guess I'm screwing up label too. Value in okay, I'm gonna look this up. I think that's kind of a habit I need. I've lost my comments, sorry. You may have been talking. Could have separate repeats with different views. Yeah, I just have more settings. Change what sound to use for tap. Oh yeah, we could do background color. That's something. Well, I like that. Okay. Slider in on editing changed. No need for a label. Text speed is the value. Yeah, I mean, I can see doing that. Not sure the is editing thing really makes a difference in editing change. Is editing. Like, I don't know why I care about that. Now this is better. I don't know where that text is going. Initializer init requires int stride to conform to binary floating point. That just doesn't sound right. There's a view. Am I doing exactly what they're doing? Value colon, in colon. I don't think I need step. Brace close, speed, text. I left out on editing changed. Maybe that's what's throwing it off. Init value in minimum value label, maximum value label on requires that int.stride conform to floating point. What's that in? Closed range of V. Binding of V. I guess if I provided the step, would that help something? I don't know. Int.stride. Well, custom binding. Why would I want to? I'm very confused because I think I'm doing the example they're giving, basically. I guess let's try this. Oh, they got a double. Well, huh. Okay, this thing likes doubles for that. Interesting. Okay. Ugh. Well, that explains why somebody was doing this wrapping mess. Yeah, okay, annoying, but okay. Right, so we're going to talk about repeats. Double is double of self dot repeats, and the set is self dot repeats equals int of $0. Did they put the $? No, no need. Argument passed to call that takes no argument. Settings view. Oh. Yeah. Cannot assign to. Oh, so I'm creating a new binding and binding of int. I think I have to defer this. I don't want it mutable. Requires binding of int conform to binary integer. Okay, well, oh dear. Before being initialized. But it's not. That's just too much fighting. Let's just make this double and be done with it. But I want this on editing changed. I do have to have it. Okay. I don't know what they do with it. They're just tracking is editing, which for the purpose of showing that it's editing, I don't know. Kind of annoying. Oh, now I don't build because these are not doubles. I still haven't had this preview show yet. Okay. Let's put some padding on here. Am I still on the slider? No. Yeah, that's a little better. No, it's not. It's the V stack. And it doesn't have the word repeats anywhere. Why not? Oh, I'm going to lose my battery on this thing. Well, yeah, I'm not sure the best way to get at those. Okay, where's the word int repeats? Oh, that's the number. Okay, yeah. Um, okay, so put text above it too. I'm not sure where this is supposed to show up. Oh, and yeah, no attentiveness at all there. I'm curious. I didn't check to see if it was plausible looking even on the tablet. I'm just about out of power. Okay, it looks awfully wide. I don't think I'm getting the, well, maybe I'm getting 4 pixels of padding or something, but not a lot. Let's put a width on this. I'm going to stop the running ones. Okay, that's a little better, I think. All right. Okay. Well, I think that gets us somewhere. Let's pull this in up here. Forget, is that thing supposed to have a parens? Yes. Okay, we'll play with that in a minute. Let's take a break. And I'll see if I can charge that tablet up just a little bit anyway. All right, see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. Yeah, add some margins. Yeah, the other thing I thought of is there's stepper. Does that work with integers? I mean, binding a v, why should it care? Yeah, stride 1. Okay. Let's switch to that, and then we'll work on the formatting. Repeats of int, stepper, title key, value. Repeats value. Value step on editing changed. There must be one that has a range, right? Step defaults to 1. Maybe this is better. Value and requires. What's going on? If stride defaults to 1. Okay. Minimum label, maximum label. We'll take these out. Right, that's that error they have. Okay. And then I don't. Is that where it has the range, the stridable? Stepper value in? Is that a valid? Increment on decrement. Okay, I can put the value in there. That's good. Okay, I guess that's a starting point, and then I gotta undo my double everywhere. Can I convert value of double? Oh. Is that where it has the range? Well, there's a thing we put things in to get them looking like forms. Do you remember what that was? That's what made the labels get used. I don't think it's not form. Well, the next one's stepper. Okay, we got a stepper. Maybe it is putting it in a form that makes the let work nice. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of bizarre. All right, preview pause. Let's see if we're looking like anything now. All right, then we'll put this in a form, and hopefully that improves the look noticeably. I don't need this anymore. Oh, there we go. That does put out the value. So we don't need this at all. Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's a little annoying to think of going click, 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 click. Okay, let's just put it in for form. I don't think the VStack is needed at this point. Form. We might need navigation stack stuff. All right, well, that's okay. I mean, it's... But let's do the slider. Well, what that earlier one was trying to create a separate binding that that it could convert back to int and then store. Well, maybe I can just reflect that in here. Okay. I can't assign it to repeats. Let's start with this section. Okay, if I do slider. Dollar repeats. Editing. It doesn't put the title out. Huh. Okay, so now I gotta initialize repeats. Okay, but now, hopefully this will let me do this. Equals repeats. Cannot assign int dot wrapped. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do before, and it didn't seem to like it. At least I couldn't get it to initialize right. But I mean, I think this is okay. So when it comes in, it should set this state variable, and then at the end, um, update it. No exec matches and call to initializer. What type are you? Boo. What is going on? I just call back when editing begins and ends. I guess I got to go back to this example on the slider. Is editing true? I guess if it's false, oh, okay. The way to do is create that proxy double with get set apparently. Long known bug. You have to stack it. Like navigation stack. Still don't seem to be getting it. Should you just copy from the proxy to the end repeats? Yeah, that's what I think I'm doing. I'm not seeing that label still. I thought the navigation stack would do it. Oh, let's run on the phone. Oh, okay. The contents of the form, do you think, or the inside? Form sections. Okay, well that's whatever value that is. That's really high looking. Maybe like 3 to 20 would be a better range. Yeah. Um, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Ugh. Okay, so H stack. Let's put this text. That was interesting. I guess I could have that updating while. Yeah, 20 is interesting enough. Something weird there. 3. Okay. So I guess if I took off the is editing, I'd get a live view on that. But this, something's weird when it comes in. He still thinks he's 3. Even though it came in as 10 with it listed as the minimum or something. It was odd. Yeah, see that's, oh, I guess that, no, 10 should be here. No, it doesn't update it as it bumps. Okay. Maybe I should do this. But why is the value? I mean, it should come in with that as 10. Okay. So it should be 10. This should be, it says 3. Well, at least he's in the right place now. Yeah, I'm getting the live editing. Okay. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. This should be 10 at this point, right? Because this should have been set when we created the binding. Why would that not pick it up? Okay, so we set the repeats at the end of the constructor. Right now, double, it's 3. We should change it to wrapped value, which should be 10. Well, which should be whatever it is at the end. But in this case, okay, there's 3, 6, 12. Okay. Settings 12 reflects it. Settings 5, good, reflects it. But the first time it's 3. And this is 10. Camera Kaleidoscope, no, it's settings. Takes repeats. Okay, yeah, I hard-coded the double value. Well, I set it, and I thought I would say I initialized it to 3. I mean, I have to give it something, right? Well, yeah, I think I have to give it something. Okay, so I'm gonna break my way through this. Something's weird. I mean, this state. All right. Okay, so here, repeats has a value 10. Self repeats is not bound. Step over, repeats is bound to 10. Okay. Self.repeats editing is 3. Okay, and now I should get, okay, repeats editing. If I step again, I should go to my defer, right? Where's my defer class? Okay, sorry, let's run again. And that all should happen before body. Okay. So I'm going to continue. Repeats editing is 3. This is 10. Step over. I don't know what it is now. Repeats is 10, right? Repeat editing is 0. Repeats is 0. Is 10. This is 3. I don't know if I'm blocking myself. Repeats 3. Yeah, I don't know. Well, my understanding is when I'm creating a settings view, I'm going to call the init first, do this stuff, and then before it exits the method, I'm going to do this stuff. Now, it's certainly something's complicating it that repeats editing somehow when I get to here, it's still 3. And the value should be repeats editing. I mean, my understanding was this initializer, basically it runs the initializer non-defer stuff. And if there are requirements to fill in values, it enforces that and all that. Then it runs the defer clause at the very end, and then it returns. And the stuff you do in here should be reflected by the time this whole thing returns. And apparently, they or me is misunderstanding something. Yeah, good guess. Which, all right. So maybe it's worth, I don't know. Like, the problem is I can't pass in this value that's coming in into that that proxy double one thing they had. Where was that? Was that? No, that's dead. I don't know if I lost the article for it. No. No. What was the message we got? Is long gone. Okay. I mean, if I were to start this initial value at like 0, take these out. I mean, it's something not even in range. That seems problematic. Clicked it without doing anything and it changes to 3. All right, where was that? Well, I guess I could put it back to slider with repeats and I'll get that message again, right? Repeats. It was at the bottom. Binding of get double add. Reference to the slider. I mean, that's what I thought I did. But like here, this thing is not allowed to access repeats. Cannot find self, but this cannot use instance member repeats within property initializer. Okay, repeats editing is the binding. I shouldn't need int anymore. Repeats is cannot find repeats in scope. Within property initializer. So that's where I ended up putting this in defer. And then but I can't initialize it. Okay, let's make this dot constant 0. Binding of int conform to binary integer. Well, that's not what I did. Okay. Well, I mean, he's kind of creating his own version of that. I mean, I think his convert is basically the same as. Well, I don't want it to be a double value. I don't think that's going to work. I guess because it's a step, it will. Oh, okay. This is kind of what I'm doing. It looks like I don't have to do it in the defer. Double is binding. Okay, one thing still unhappy. Initializer. Okay, this has to edit off the repeats editing now. Which is a binding, so I shouldn't need to $sign it. Okay. Better start. Okay, well, whatever I did before was close, but no cigar. Okay. Now, this. Okay, I think this is okay. Make a repeat setting that sets an integer based on a float slider. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's terrible to be an extension. It's only something I need once. But if we're doing a lot of sliders, you definitely want something. I mean, that's nice. All right. So, well, I think we've done this now. Okay, so now I just need to critique it. All right, just critique. So let's run this. I think maybe a title settings would look good up there, even if it's only one. We have room for growth. Okay, so up here, text repeats, form. Oh, it's like navigation title settings. I don't think that's enough. I think I have to have a navigation stack for that to be useful. Yeah. And I think that goes here. Yeah. Well, it's a little crowded looking even now. Oh, interesting. Each one gets its own. Well, I don't know. This maybe I just give it some padding. It looks a little awkward. Nope. I guess that's just the form. I don't know if I take it out of the form, is that... Yeah, that's awkward. I think the settings is overwriting the form, maybe? No, because it's making room for it. Maybe. Yeah, definitely save the settings to AppStorage. It's a real quick question if we can... Space between items. Attach it to the header space. Padding. Attached to the header text, there's now space between the enter and the history. Yeah. Well, we can put it on a section. I don't know if that's gonna... Okay, a little awkward, but okay. I can live with that. And if we ever had enough settings to need a section, we could live with it too. All right, and then app storage. And well, I had my little guide. Okay. I think, is it just app storage? Is it this one? App storage key name var foo of type. Must be a basic type. All right. And the editor loses its mind once again. Okay, so let's set. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay, so we have our photo. It's got 10, 2, 5, 8, 10. All right, and then we set our settings to 3. Check it out. Quit. Run it again. Should still be 3. Okay. Set it up to 20. Looks like 20. Quit. Run it again. Still 20. All right. Okay, well, that is good. Cool. Let's close that. Okay. Well, I think we're there. We've come through a fair bit of fumbling around on some things, but we've got something that if you hold your camera up, you get a view. If you select a photo, you get a view. And if you move your screen side to side, it changes. The images themselves look really good to my eye. And so I'm pretty happy. I like the suggestion of making an actual App Store release. I'll probably do that as a background thing and wrap this up as far as Twitch for now. I think I don't know. I'm still tossing around what I want to do next week, but one possibility is continue. Jump into the fray. My friends have been working on this Wordle stuff, and I guess I have a couple ideas they haven't really explored that I kind of wanted to explore. Or I have that sort tables project from a couple years ago. I'd like to see if we can push it into being a Swift UI project and maybe use that as a framework to explore the new model approach that's in iOS 17. We could have done that a little here because we do have this one camera model object that's a class. but we didn't tackle that. But it's on my mind to try and get used to that model as well. So and who knows, maybe I'll come up with something else over the weekend. But a new project next week for sure. Anyway, so yeah, ship it. All right. Well, thanks for coming along on this journey. I'll make a summary video for release it Sunday, describing what we did this week, and see you next time or some other. Let's see. For us, daylight savings time switches next week, so we'll move. We'll fall back, I guess we say, and it'll be an hour different. I can't promise if it's earlier or later to you, but one or the other, and go from there. So 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or something like 6 to 8:30, but probably not. It's 1 hour off from that. I'd have to check UTC, but I will. All right. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.